Here we are at Manizer in an undisclosed location, deep in the sand in Iraq.
We're here to manize our troops because we want them to know that even though they're on foreign soil, we still think they're hotties in their uniforms and their combat boots.
Manizer has always been a big advocate of men in uniform. It's early morning now. It's been a long night of relentless bombardment by our troops here on the back lines.
But our Manizer position here with the troops has been strictly missionary. Everybody's worked up a big appetite, and we're going to go fix the boys some MREs. You know what we always say at Manizer:
Make love, not war. Over and out. Today on Manizer, we're going to explore the special relationship between a man and his gun. As a woman, I know very little about handguns, shotguns, rifles, Tommy guns. Any sort of guns is almost foreign to me. When I was young, I wanted a horse. I think most little girls want a pony or a horse. When boys are little, they want a gun. Today, I've invited my friend Ryan to join me, who is a gun enthusiast and somewhat of a gun expert, to help share the mystery of men and guns with us here at Manizer, so we can all be more knowledgeable, and so you can refresh yourselves with the gun knowledge you have, men, and enjoy all the different aspects. We're going to shoot guns today and talk about them. First of all, Ryan, thanks for coming on Manizer.
Oh, my pleasure.
And we're really happy to have a gunman on.
It's part of growing up. It's letting you know that you're making a passage from childhood into adolescence. And just like, sort of when your grandfather takes you hunting. For me, that was a real big deal when I was finally old enough to be able to carry the.
So you did go hunting too?
Oh yeah.
You learned that from your grandfather.
My grandfather in particular took me hunting. Yeah. And he taught me a lot about how to handle a gun in the field and all the safety elements that go along with having guns and other people around them.
Santa gave you your first gun.
Yeah, Santa
your father
gave me right.
And your grandfather told you
taught me how to use it.
No
That's
little
right.
elf. The elf instructions were not significant. No. So you got your gun on Christmas. You learned from your grandfather, and now as a grown man, you have a collection of guns.
Right. And now I've sort of graduated beyond the BB rifles at this point.
Sure.
And I've bought several guns over the period of my life, and I got 3 of them here with me today.
So even as a grown man, if someone presented you with a gun on Christmas, that'd be an extra special gift.
Yeah.
Right. So women out there, for
that's right.
A special gift.
If you're going Christmas shopping,
the tie is old. Okay. They want guns. Okay, a gun.
Get them a gun.
Get them a gun.
At least a box of ammo.
And it seems like men often communicate using sports is the most common, but
guns
I
also,
often hear guns and military history.
Or war talk, yeah.
War talk, especially right now there's war talk in the air.
Yeah,
but like military history, people, it's just like the statistics that you're able to retain. Men are amazing. They know battles. They know what tanks and generals and strategies and things like that. And you find that you have those conversations with your friends,
Yeah. Sometimes, a lot of times when you meet people for the first time, it's something that you might find you have a common interest in. And
sure.
Next thing you know, you're chatting away like old buds,
Excellent. Well, today, Ryan, it's very unsafe to shoot the guns. Even I know that here in the living room. So we're going to go to the shooting range and learn how to shoot guns.
Yeah.
So come on with us with Manizer and learn to shoot a gun.
Ryan's been kind enough to bring us out here to the firing range. We're here at the St. Bernard Indoor Shooting Range on ACOC in St. Bernard Parish. And Ryan's going to explain to us a little bit about the differences between guns and ammunition and stuff like that. But the first thing I want to talk to you about, Ryan, is safety. I'm a big proponent of safety. As Joe mentioned earlier, I'm in a strange position in that my dad had a gun shop, so I probably know a little bit more about guns than the average woman would know. But the one thing that I do remember quite clearly from being a child is all of the safety rules. We had lots of guns in the house because my dad was a collector, and we kept them locked up. They were never out in the areas where my brother and I could be. And I remember my father telling me as a young child a few different things. One, never point a gun at anything you don't intend to kill. Not just shoot, but kill. Because there's no point of pointing a gun at anything unless you want to destroy it. And we were taught that it wasn't a toy. We were not even allowed to have toy guns around the house, in my house. My father never wanted us to forget, and disassociate ourselves from the fact that we were dealing with a really deadly weapon. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about safety courses, if you've taken any. And
I would recommend, safety literature is everywhere. When you purchase a new firearm, RTFM, read the blankety blank manual. It's very important to educate yourself, and all the resources are there. If you were to look closely, most of these weapons have an inscription stamped on the side of them that say, read owner's manual before operating. It's very important. Gun safety material is very easy to come by. You can find it on the internet, you can get it from your local police or sheriff's department, or you can come to a place such as the St. Bernard Indoor Shooting Center here, where you can take a course. I've taken the course, Louisiana concealed handgun course, which requires you to take a basic NRA pistol course, where all the basics of nomenclature and safe handling are taught to you.
And there's really no reason not to take it.
And there's no reason not to take a class. It takes 1 day out of your life, and it's something that will both increase your proficiency and make you a safe handler of your weapon. The important thing to remember is always assume a gun is loaded.
Absolutely.
Always assume a gun is loaded. So, never point a weapon and say, oh, well, I thought it was unloaded. Every time you read about somebody being accidentally shot in the newspaper, you almost always see the words,
I didn't know it was loaded.
I didn't know it was
Right.
loaded. Always assume that the gun is loaded. Furthermore, when handling a firearm, always keep your finger off the trigger. If you don't have your finger on the trigger, it probably won't fire, and if it's not loaded, it won't. So therefore, by assuming that every gun is loaded, if you keep your finger off the trigger, you can prevent an unintentional discharge.
Now, the bottom line is that you really wouldn't go out and shoot a gun without knowing anything about it, any more than you would drive your car without a license.
Right.
December 14th, I'll see you
Have a
before
little
then.
bit of
And
safety
you
in operating.
wouldn't let somebody jump behind the wheel of your brand new stick shift vehicle if they didn't know how to drive a stick shift.
Joey, Jorge's got something to say.
These people are having fun.
It's bright.
That's it. Dude, I'm quitting the band? I'm quitting the band. He's quitting the band, everybody.
They're not watching television,
Thanks for the ride.
but they sure are having a good time.
No, the lights.
Hey, what are you doing?
Corre, pa'l frente.
Don't play in traffic. Watch Manizer.
Here we are inside the firing range, and Ryan's going to show us how all of this works, the little cubicles and some of the safety mechanisms. And Ryan, what are we going to be shooting today?
Well, today we're going to shoot a Taurus 38 caliber revolver, a Glock 9mm auto, a Ruger 22 caliber pistol, and a Mauser 380 auto. And I think first we'll start with the 9mm Glock. As you can see, we're standing right here on the firing line. We have our silhouette on a track system that can come forward or backward. And I usually like to shoot at about 15 to 20 feet because that's about an effective range to determine my accuracy, and it's more or less a practical range.
Well, and for the actual purpose of protecting yourself with a gun, if someone was further away than 15 or 20 feet,
You may not need to shoot.
protecting yourself with a gun. Okay? So you're going to fire the Glock.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot the 9mm.
All right.
Okay? Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Why is it that? do it every
I
time?
don't know, no. There you go.
Whoa!
You're out.
I've never shot a handgun before in my life. I've shot a 22 gun once in the woods in Missouri and was a good shot. So Brian's going to show me the very basics that I'm going to shoot a handgun.
Jill's going to shoot the 38 caliber revolver right now, and I think that's the best gun for her to start out on because of its ease of operation and the fact that it's a nice small little girly kind of gun.
I'm small and girly as a gun man. Whoa! Man. That's amazing.
All right, just place it down on the table.
I'm done.
Good job, good job.
That is amazing. I can't even express how it felt shooting that gun that first time. Unlike anything else. Way different than a cap gun. One backed up and hit me right in the mouth.
Hey, that's pretty good shooting, Tex.
Oh, a natural.
That's pretty good shooting.
I had a toy Luger when I was little.
Here's smiling at you.
I'm Dan Aykroyd here at the House of Blues with Jill Blues, and you are watching Manizer.
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 Oh, Manizer. Oh, Manizer. I'll do it again.
Oh, Manizer.
I put an H in there. All right. I'm saying Manheiser like the...
All right.
Hi, I'm Jill Blues. We're at the Blue Plate Mayonnaise, and you're watching Manizer.
All right.
Hi, I'm Jill Blues at the Blue Plate Fine Foods, and you're watching Manizer.
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 Manizer. Oh, I'm saying Manizer. I'm putting a Y in it. Oh, I'll do it again.
on. We'll be back.
You're coming with another truck? Oh my God.
Here at Manizer, we have two goals that are really above and beyond all the rest. For us, it's all about bringing people closer together and fostering a greater understanding between the genders. But the fact of the matter is that we're designed differently. Aside from our physical differences, there are also many different motivations and different interests that men and women have. This might seem like a real roadblock for everybody getting along, but the fact of the matter is you can use these differences as an opportunity to get closer to your mate and to understand them better. Women, maybe you don't like sports. Your guy is a big sports guy, and to you, watching a football game is the biggest waste of a Sunday afternoon that you could possibly think of. But there he is on the couch. He's focused, he's concentrating, he's all excited about his game, and facts are excitement leads to excitement. So rather than grouse around in the kitchen, sit close to him on the couch and be ready for whatever comes up. If his team wins, he'll be thrilled, and if his team loses, maybe he'll need some consoling. Maybe your guy is a musclehead and he loves cars and he wants to know everything there is to know about cars. But as far as you're concerned, any vehicle that gets you safely from point A to point B is fine. That's all right. Don't worry about the specifics. Every car has a back seat. And men, you don't like what your lady is interested in. For you, shopping is a bore. You're getting dragged from place to place. You could care less. Just insist that wherever you go shopping, you get to go one place that you want to go as well. She'll be thinking, of course, sporting goods store, but surprise her with lingerie shop. Why not? Something for you, something for her. She'll be thrilled that she's getting to shop with your permission and your blessing, and you'll be thrilled that you're getting to shop for something that will actually be useful to you. Make sure you're in the dressing room with her so that you can tell her how everything looks. Make sure that you tell her it all looks good, and let your mind wander where it will. Maybe museums and art openings don't really hold any interest for you, and you could care less about some stuff that a bunch of dead guys painted hundreds of years ago. But every museum worth its salt has a pretty good nude collection. The fact is, the human form has been an inspiration for creative endeavors for millennia, so why not let it be an inspiration for your creative and sensual endeavors as well. Admire the paintings, admire the sculpture, stand close to her and talk about how beautiful and rich the fabric is and how nice it must have felt up against the model's skin. Use your imagination and don't let these things get you down. Rather than worry about how different we are and focus on how it pulls us apart, use these opportunities and these differences to add spice and variety to your life and pull you closer together. This has been a public service announcement from Manizer.
Y tener a los muchachos, a mi hermano al lado, gozando, a Gaby atrás dándole bien duro la batería, es toda una energía positiva y tocando música, mano. The music, it's all about playing music.
Biggest time is because we make people feel good, and that's what I really wanna do. I wanna make people feel good. I wanna make them love life like I love life. You know, that's
2 times our sound has gone off, and we just take out the instruments and we do a cappella music, man, whatever.
If you want it in 3 words, we don't choke under pressure.
Guajira, alma gemela. Eso de seguro, eso. Alma gemela. Guajira, alma gemela.
Decided to come to New Orleans because it just felt right. The name that came with it and the stories and the music.
The history of the thing.
It's a magical place, you know, in a way. And I always said I'm going to New Orleans to make my dream band.
Estaba con Carlito Lesio, por eso que la pasa tan cabrón, a nosotros nos ha pasado unas cosas que nosotros no estábamos corriendo, loco. Y Carlito Lesio iba corriendo así que nos iban a dar, loco. Un gordo ahí borracho porque estábamos mirando al lado de su carro. Así es la... Regresé al punto de mi partida. No sé si voy a ser el hombre de tu
The song, it just wasn't happening, you know. Like I don't know. They were like, hey, what if we like put this reggae? What if we put this ska? What if we put some funk? And then next thing you know, that's what we ended up with, you know.
The energy we're gonna bring to you when you come to see our live show, I mean, that's ours, that's unique, because it's us on stage, you know? People know it and they enjoy the beat, you know. It's an easy song to sing along to. It's danceable and it's energetic. It's really full of energy.
Toda esa gente que son turistas, they were like watching. Everybody's like, who are those guys? Who are those guys? People like taking pictures.
La gente se impactó y se quedaba ahí, nos empezaba a ver a tomar fotos y eso estuvo cool. Gozaron, los turistas gozaron con los locales, que es lo importante.
Our goals of Almas Gemelas really is to never sound the same.
When you drive in the car, instead of changing CDs and driving and going, shit, what this CD is, so you put one CD, and that's it. You got NLD, you got like, you know, reggae, you're chilling out, and then
one of our goals, you know. What I'm really trying to do is hit every emotion possible to anybody. So you could be 40 and you can say, man, I like this song, I can relate to it. But you can also be 12.
Tonight on Manizer, we have a very special feature. We have assembled a small panel for discussion of men experts. What we are going to do tonight is celebrate traits in men, both physical and non-physical, through a discussion with men experts. To my right, Laura Tennyson is here, and to my left, Gina Farrago, both men experts that have chosen to join us. The beginning of the discussion, we will talk about the physical traits of a man, the attributes we see physically that we love about men. It's very obvious and very simple. I'm going to open tonight with Zoe. Zoe, what would you say is one of your most striking or your favorite physical attribute that you find in men?
You know, it's difficult. I've had the advantage for the last couple days of knowing exactly what these questions would be, and I'm still, as the dyed-in-the-wool manizer that I am, very torn about my features and what I really like about men. I like hands. I like delicate, artful, graceful hands. But when it really comes right down to it, I think my favorite physical attribute of a man is his chest. I really like chests. They don't have to be big, they don't have to be particularly muscly, but they have to look comfortable. I think that's the big thing for me. This spot right here is about the most marvelous place on a man, I think. And I like to rest my head there. I like to sit on the couch or in the car and put my head right there. It makes me feel very, very comforted and safe. I really
Men
enjoy
are
it.
very fond of women's chests, but one advantage as women we have, men have very diverse chests. The obvious hairy or not hairy. What would you say, Gina?
I like not hairy chests.
Not hairy?
Not completely plain and shaved and
Right.
waxed and all of that.
No.
But if it's a choice between hairy and not hairy, I would take the not hairy.
Right. Maybe a little bit of hair.
A little bit of hair
around
is
the
great.
nipple.
Yeah.
The,
I love it.
right
I love
in the
it.
middle.
Yeah.
And then like with
Yeah.
the navel, that little, what do you call it?
We used to call it Main Street in high
Main
school.
Street. Main Street, USA,
Because
baby.
it led right where you wanted to be.
Yeah, that's a good place.
What about you, Laura? A man's chest.
I love men's chest. I don't care about hair or not hair. I think I just like Zoe said, there's a comfort in a man's chest, a sense of safety when you're hugging or when you're relaxing. If you can lean into a man's chest and he feels very okay with it, then it's a good place to be.
I would agree.
It's a good thing.
Yeah,
It's a
it
good
is
As our
good
good
thing.
friend Martha Stewart says, it's a good thing.
Martha
Yeah,
Stewart would probably go for
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Men's chest.
I bet
It's a
Martha
good
likes
place to
chest.
rest. That's
Right.
it.
So a hairy chest is good. A not so hairy chest is good. Nipples are nice.
Nipples are nice.
Yeah.
Muscles are well defined.
They're like tuning knobs almost.
And you know they do have a purpose on men. Of course, it's not as quite biologically imperative as on a woman, but
But they're
definitely
sensitive for
they're
men.
sensitive and sensitivity, physical or non-physical, is good in a man. Chests,
Says a lot about a man. His chest.
His chest.
his chest, and you know the proud. I'm a man.
That's right.
You know, that's the first thing they do when they're being all man. We had a man on an interview, and you know, when he wanted to put on his big man thing, you know, he'd immediately, you know, pump up his chest.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a man.
I'm a
It's sort of
man.
indicative. I'm a man, and of course, anything indicative of man, that we like that trait.
We like that.
Because we're manizers.
And men experts obviously first to point it out.
I'm Dan Aykroyd here at the House of Blues with Jill Blues, and you are watching Manizer.
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 Oh, Manizer. Oh, Manizer. I'll do it again.
Oh, Manizer.
I put an H in there. All right. I'm saying Manizer like the...
Blues.
Wait.
We're at the.
All right.
Hi, I'm Jill Blues. We're at the Blue Plate Mayonnaise, and you're watching Manizer.
All right.
Hi, I'm Jill Blues at the Blue Plate Fine Foods, and you're watching Manizer.
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 Manizer. Oh, I'm saying Manizer. I'm putting a Y in it. Oh, I'll do it again. So, Gina, what would you say is maybe your favorite or one of the most striking features physically of a man?
The most striking feature, the first thing I look for is a man's butt. Always, always, always. And
First thing.
Yeah. And I hate
Turn around, sir.
baggy pants. I hate baggy pants for that reason. Those low-slung,
Yeah.
nasty baggy pants. I hate them because I can't see their ass.
Well, what if they're slung low
If they're
enough?
slung low enough, then
Right.
they're good. But
they
I
have
mean,
the,
they
because
have
then you
to
get a
be-
good
yeah.
view.
And climb
Yeah.
under pants or
Yeah,
something.
but
Yeah.
otherwise, I want to be able to see your ass. You know, don't deny me that.
Butt in motion, or just
Yeah.
the butt size, or the butt.
All of it. All of it.
Size for me matters.
Yeah.
The bigger, the better. Sir Mix-a-Lot and me, we're on the same page. Red beans and rice didn't miss, sir. I like big butts. That's, yeah. bigger. If you can rest my arm, I'll put my arm around a man and like, you know, his big back and it'll slide down and it's like, wow.
There's a button you can
That
write home
works.
about.
A button you can rest your arm home about. Right, I like that big. What about you, Laura? Does size matter with a butt?
I don't think size matters, but I like the fact that the butt is like a muscle on a man. And so seeing a butt naked is really interesting and it's sexy, but it's also physique, kind of. It's something to admire in a man. When he walks across the room and you see his butt kind of moving. It's not like a woman's butt, you know, where it's like fleshy and
Sort of, soft
and fat and whatever, or whatever, you know.
What butts are fat and fleshy?
But men's butts are more muscular, I think. You know, they're that glute thing going on.
Glutamus maximus.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
What about
Maximize
Zoe?
the maximus.
Yeah.
You like back?
I like back. I prefer the rounded butt to the straight up and down butt. I like the round action. The musculature and the definition, I think, is fabulous. I just,
And you
I
know,
don't think it looks
this
as
isn't
inviting
only just
to me.
men that are muscle men or like
No,
that are
like
in the
you don't
gym
have-
every day.
Right.
I mean, a man that any man you see, of course, have their arms are just shaped in a way
Right.
that is distinctive of the musculature, not just the men
Right,
who work
and when you
out.
see them walk and they're moving their arms and their whole body, it's like almost seeing a not a primitive person, but like it's so natural. It
like an archetype,
yeah,
almost.
yeah, like just a model of a man when you see how his arms move and his body moves
Chest.
and
Yeah.
chest.
A certain animal grace, almost.
Yeah.
Well,
Archetypal. I think those kinds of things really do speak to those hidden parts of us that we don't pay too much
Yeah, and
attention
I think
to.
a lot of
in
men
genetic
Yeah.
don't pay attention. You know, men who are not like pumping iron every day, just your average Joe guy, he may not think that those are the sexy things that women see. You
But it
know,
is.
yeah,
It
when he
is,
walks
yeah.
into a room, how he moves his arms and his chest and his body and his legs, and how he glides into a room is just as powerful as the type of muscles that he has. you
right,
know.
someone who's completely focused on his physique.
Right.
Right.
You know, that is, of course, you're going to notice that they've worked on it. But just every man basically has the physique just
Right.
because he's male.
He's male, exactly.
Right.
He's born with it.
He was born man.
Make the best of what you got to work with.
If you're a man, you've got it.
You've got it.
You've got man arms. You've got a man back. You've got a man chest.
Yes.
Excuse me. I would have to say one of the most striking things for me about a man, I really like lips. I like the mouth, the softness. I sort of like when they have a little scruffiness. But my favorite thing is height. A tall man. There's something about it. Probably again the archetype. They're so tall. Anyone notices a great big tall 6'7" man comes in the room. You know, everyone. Wow, look at that guy's tall. But when you're dancing cheek to cheek and you have to sort of really stretch up there just to give him a kiss and you're like on your tiptoes. I guess I'm a romantic, but the tall, tall, dark, and handsome, of course. But I'm very short, so almost any man is taller than me. So I've got it made. They're all tall. Oh, Pierre, I'm so glad we're here together tonight. Valentine's Day, the two of us. I've missed you so much these last few months while you were in France.
Me too, actually. I was thinking a lot about you. Couldn't wait to arrive, right, home and be here around these four walls. That we
Valentine's
have
Day.
today. Yeah, definitely. But I have something that's been bothering me. I haven't told you, but I took the liberty of sort of inviting my brother to come here to spend Valentine's Day with us because he's alone, he's just moved here. He's pretty sad and lonely, and I just didn't want him to spend the entire day alone. So, what do you say? Can I read it?
Pierre, I don't know what to say.
Say yes.
Yes.
I brought some cheese.
Oh, look. Brie, cheddar, and chèvre. Fromage à toi. It's just in this small segment here of experts, you can see that it's so varied. The answers, what the focus is, it's universal. Everyone agrees about all these attributes to some extent, that they notice them. Whether that be the tall or the short, you notice a man. Whether it be that his arms are muscular and defined, or the way he holds his arms, the way he puts them around you. That's the thing. They can be muscly, they can be, smaller, they can be big, husky arms.
I think what we're getting at here is we're manizers. So there's something to love about each and every one of
a
us.
physical attribute. So I would have to say most men, you've got it covered. Just again, by virtue of being a man, there's something manizerable on you.
Right.
It's
That's right.
The answer's in the
I think
name.
it's getting to know what that is about you, for men, anyhow, because most women, as a woman, as a man expert, I'm observing all kinds of things that are going on with the man.
Exactly.
Physical and non-physical, so.
Nothing escapes the microscopic view of a manizer.
The attention to detail.
As a man expert, we can turn our discussion now to the more ethereal, the intangible characteristics of a man that we find attractive. Not their butt, not their muscle arm, their big hairy chest. What about a man, his moves, his mystique, his characteristics, what is it that's non-physical, Laura, that you would say you find striking in a man, or one of the most valid or attractive things in a man as an expert?
There's so many. I would start probably with intellect a little bit. Not, that he has to be a mad scientist or something like that, but just that he's bright and a little bit in tune with what's going on, and shares it, and has a reason for being, kind of, and that's what I associate with intellect, versus like trying to be an expert in one thing or the other, but just being in tune with who he is and what's going on right now, and being interested and being aware and
awareness.
Yeah, awareness in that sense. That's like, to me, intellectual. That gets me excited.
Maybe being pensive.
Pensive is also a really incredible attribute in man. Someone who thinks, who's says thought-provoking things, or just thinks about his life and his place in the sun, in a sense,
Even if it's masked through, men will often show their intellect in the strangest of ways. Sports are one of the most common ways men communicate. And it's amazing. They know every RBI, they know all the statistics, they remember what championship, who ran where. I mean, attention to these details. And of course, it's their interest, so it's easily expressed. You often hear, that men don't think things through, or that they're not pensive, or and often they'll cut themselves short and say that immediately. Not even just as from a woman's point of view, but or a man expert. Men will often think that, but it's not true.
Right, it isn't. They have so much capacity, and I think the more
it's expressed differently.
Right,
almost.
and the more you express that, to me, is very sexy.
I think men are trained sometimes not to express that.
Right.
There's all kinds of things that, society just sort of says, oh, well, that's just a man's way, and they do that. But I think that it shortchanges men, because if people didn't have low expectations of what they're capable of, then they would, I think, let that side show more. It's so much easier if somebody already thinks that you're not paying attention, or that you're not thinking about those kinds of things. It's so much easier in a way to go along with it than to really exert yourself and show that it's not true.
Right. But I think on a one-on-one with a woman, that's where it's at. That's where the magic happens in terms of your relationship and your experience with someone, sharing that a little bit. I think a lot of men don't realize that, and they have it within them.
Oh, of course.
It's
Absolutely.
there. It's there. So I would say intellect.
intellect. Do you like intelligent men?
I would definitely agree, because the fact of the matter is no matter how good his butt is, it's eventually going to fall, and so is mine. And you've got to be able to talk to this guy. You've got to be able to spend time and have common interests and something else. So yeah, I definitely
Well, and even
100%
if his interests
agree.
aren't necessarily yours, you can see it. Again, the sports is the most easy way.
Yeah.
I see it daily. I'm impressed the way they rattle off these things. That who would know?
Right.
I don't remember everything that Martha Stewart ever said.
Never.
And we all watch Martha Stewart, right? All the women.
Or Oprah.
Or Oprah.
We don't know.
Oh, am I glad to be home. What a day I've had.
And what an evening you will have too. Happy Valentine's Day.
Gina, what would you say is one of your favorite non-physical attributes of a man?
I would have to say a sense of humor. He needs to be
That's
able
good.
to. That will carry you through so much hell if you have a good sense of humor. It allows you to connect in different ways. It's just really, I think, something necessary that you need to have to deal with life as whatever it throws at you.
Definitely makes the tougher times easier if you
Yeah.
can have
Yeah.
a little bit of joyfulness about it.
I've always been attracted to funny men.
Like, what kind of funny?
I like eccentric funny, like odd funny. Like, where is that coming from? That is really strange. I kind of like that, and physical funny, because it almost gives that sensitivity. They're vulnerable. I like Jackie Gleason. I mean,
I do too.
Yeah.
Willing to put it on out there.
Yeah.
he puts it out there, and it's funny. You like funny men, Zoe?
I like funny men. I like men who know when to turn off their sense of humor. It's not all funny, but
Right.
I don't want a man who's laughing right after I've fallen on my butt and making a joke about it. But yeah, I like funny.
Well,
but I
right.
think that the thing for me personally is presence. I really appreciate, and not presence of they walk in a room and the whole room turns to look at them. That's marvelous too. But I really like men who are mindful, who look at you while they're talking to you and are clearly paying attention to what's going on around them. Not just in interaction with me, although that's my favorite way for them to be mindful, but what goes on in the world around them too, to be aware of things that are going on, but just to have that presence in terms of being in the here and now, being in the moment with me or without, however that works out, but being in the moment.
Sort of a Buddhist type almost.
Yeah.
I like the Buddhist types.
I mean, you would say if you were going to bring it to that.
Mindfulness, right?
Or
Mindful.
not escapist types. There are some men who are escapism.
Right.
Yeah.
Just not there.
Just not wanting to be with what's going on right now, whether it's football or whether it's you're having coffee and talking.
Right.
They're kind of running away from that experience, that time to experience.
Always somewhere else. Or
Right.
Something.
Yeah.
Not just busybody on the phone and stuff. Just not.
Yeah.
Not really
Not
there.
connecting.
Well, the
Right,
joy in
yeah.
life is really in the moment, and people that can really
Men or
focus
women.
on that
Right.
and
if
be
a
okay
man
with
has that skill or that ability, it just makes them so incredible. That you gravitate towards them.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I like non-physically. I like the macho, sort of, not bossy. I'm a headstrong woman. I have control, but I do like when a man is in control, when he's in charge, when he's like, okay, let's go,
Right.
and he sort of leads you, or
Masterful.
he's sort of
Yeah.
masterful, but in the same way, he's not afraid to be compassionate. Don't mistake kindness for weakness. To be kind, or especially when he's interacting with his other men friends. A man that's going to be all gushy and to you is one thing. That's nice, of course. I don't like overly sensitive. Then it's just, what in the world? I want you macho. But if you watch a man interacting with his other male friends and you see some of that compassion or you see some of that just kindness or thoughtfulness that he'll express with them, because they're often so superficial and blah, blah, blah. But I think that that's one of the most common ways you can see it, and I just think it's beautiful. I like the macho combined with compassionate. It sounds like an ideal, but I think every man has it. It's
I do too.
It's evident in all men. They have different levels of each, and I don't care which level is which. I like them both.
It's that balance.
Yeah. I like a little aggressiveness in men as well.
Yeah.
Someone who's
Just purpose.
Purposeful.
Somebody who knows what he wants. You know, and not, I think a lot of that goes to self-confidence too, and knowing who you are. That you know what you want, you know, and this is how you're going to get it. This is how you're going to take control of the situation and deal with it.
Right. But you know what's, women in particular get a little nervous about when you say you like macho men.
Yeah.
Because that's not supposed to be cool or whatever, but
It's not PC. We're all supposed to be raging feminists who don't will like.
But the thing is, though, is that I don't want
us.
that, though. I don't want that stereotypical macho dragging you out of the trailer by your hair
Right,
guy.
not
either,
that
you
no
know.
one does. guy,
But that's
no.
what everybody thinks of when you say macho.
Right.
They think of some wife beater.
Right.
And you know, not many of us want that.
I don't think anyone
I don't
likes
want a
that.
wife beater.
No, but I think
Maybe the wife beater T-shirt. But that's
right.
Right.
That's cute.
Kid Rock and the wife
Rock
beater.
and the wife
and the
beater,
white
that's a whole other thing.
You have very thought-provoking and deep answers here when you have expert panel. But I know that our viewers watching Manizer have their own opinions. We are interested in knowing what are your favorite physical traits in a man. Men, what do you feel confident in expressing physically? What do you feel about this whole compassion macho? Is it confusing? You know, do you feel confident? Do you have any saying at all, or do you just want to call us and tell us about some sports figures? And we'll know you're smart, and we'll know you're funny, and we'll probably check you out a little. But,
We're like that. We're Manizers.
We at Manizer, we, we'll
Wear tight
remind you
pants.
once again of our Manizer email, manizer@hotmail.com. Please email us, because we want some more input. We have experts here, but we want to know what our viewers, what everyday people also think about the physical form, the non-physical form. Men, what do you think about all of this? You know? Do you feel objectified, or are you glad that finally people on Manizer or etc. are willing to come out here on a limb and say, we love you, men. We love the way you look. We love the way you act. We love it. We want to hear some input. Not just the experts. But I would like to thank, of course, Gina Farago
You're welcome.
and Laura Tennyson for joining us here on Manizer. Zoe and I will be back later in the show with some examples, physical and non-physical, of the ensued discussion. And we look forward to your emails and all of your input out there. So thank you, Manizers. Thank you, men, for making our discussions so easy.
The first thing you look for in a man, physical, non-physical, doesn't matter, whatever your favorite thing is.
I would have to say physical.
What physical thing?
I'm really a teeth person, and I have to make sure that he has perfect teeth.
Nice smile.
Yes, beautiful white teeth. And then that way I don't know what our kids will look like if we ever have kids.
His teeth, his personality, his clothes, his background. Something else. And what else?
Is that all of it?
Yeah. And what else?
Attitude.
His attitude. What else? I don't know what else.
My favorite thing, physical, is a good, clean smile. My favorite thing, I guess you would say, is non-physical but slightly physical, because they look athletic, is a good athlete. Smile.
Any particular reason why?
Just brightens up their face usually, shows their personality.
The most important thing, I think, is a sense of humor, and physically, eyes, I guess, because that's really the first thing you see.
I'd have to say that physically, I'm most attracted to the athletic type,
And non-physical attribute would have to be sense of humor. They'd have to have a sense of humor like mine so they can laugh at my jokes.
Good afternoon, this is Tracy.
Hi, honey. Sorry to bother you at work.
Oh, hey, baby, I'm glad you called. It's always good to hear your voice. Just crazy today.
Making any more plans for Valentine's weekend?
No, I was hoping you could tell me. I'm just glad that I had the sense to arrange the time off so we can have a nice long weekend.
Well, our weekend's getting a little longer. We're going to need to take a couple of extra days so that we have time to make it to and from Paris this weekend.
Paris? You're kidding me!
Paris, France, man, for Valentine's Day.
Oh, honey, you did that all by yourself without me
On
knowing?
myself.
Hey, do you think we'll have time to maybe make a trip to Amsterdam?
We'll absolutely stop in Amsterdam.
Well, that'll be the best Valentine's ever.
We can start it and end it in Amsterdam and just do Paris for a day.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye, dear.
Bye.
I'm going to Paris.
Welcome to a very special episode of Manizer. Today we're taking you, our home audience, on a trip, a manizing extravaganza to Belle Italia. That's right, Italy, land of art, land of romance, and land of some of the most beautiful men I've ever seen. The first order of business, of course, is manizing. And in order to do that, we need to go to the piazza. The piazza, or square, is the center of every Italian town. This is where the people all meet, a place to see and a place to be seen. We're going first to the Piazza dell'Erbe in beautiful Verona to show you the beautiful men of Verona as they unwind in the square after a long day's work. These are the beautiful frescoes on the buildings on the sides of Piazza dell'Erbe, done by Italian artists who really thought it was their duty to decorate every single thing there is. Why do they decorate it? Because they can. That's my conviction. This lion here is a symbol of when Verona was run by the ruling family of Venice. The lion was their symbol. Here we have a casual Italian man going with the shaved, clean Bruce Willis look, and a GQ man. He's set up with his shades and his suit. Probably has an office job somewhere. Looking very cute, though. Very urban. Or is it urbane? Not really sure. Ah, the devil. If the devil looks like this, I'm ready to go straight to hell. And the fact that he's pushing a little baby stroller never hurts. Ah, Blondie. This is an adorable young man who was working in the gelato. And the gelatos are big in Italy. It's the big deal to go and have ice cream. There's millions of flavors, all delicious. Lots of blondes in Verona. I wasn't really expecting that, but this is a very common look. Blonde hair with those sort of hooded eyes, those bedroom eyes, and beautiful full lips. He had it going on. I'd go eat gelato by him any day. He's just cruising. He's got sort of that thug look going. And yes, European style. Look for him on sprockets. Isn't this cute? Camo, ready to go off to the wars, but clearly loving his woman. And has beautiful, beautiful biceps. We're not sure what he's doing. We don't care. He looks good, nice jawline, beautiful neck, and biceps, biceps, biceps. These are men, more blondie, as you can see, a look that really is so indigenous to Verona, that lighter coloring. They're having a nice glass of wine in the piazza. It's very common to order your wine at the bar and then go outside with it. Again, see and be seen. These are some lovely Italian men gathering about, talking about their day, hopefully talking about women and how much they love them. There's a man with the woman, how much he loves her. He's making a point. We don't blame him. Cigarette smoking is not banned in Italy as it is here in the States. Europeans are all about cigarettes and cell phones. Don't doubt it. We guess these men are tourists. They don't look too sharp. They're kind of slouching around in t-shirts. Back to the beautiful Italian men. Enjoying a glass of white wine. What can you do? This gentleman here, he had the women. He had the women all the time. Every moment there in the piazza, he was surrounded by women. And we can understand why. He has that chiseled look, beautiful features, warm brown eyes, and that little mole there by his lip is adorable. The biker men. Lots of men in Italy ride scooters. This guy was actually riding a full-fledged motorcycle and looking like he earned every second of it. But pay no attention to all those cell phones. We tried not to. Here we have the ethnic man. That super spirally curly hair, very common in Italy. And that strong nose, which is a big feature we like on Manizer. Oh, back to GQ, man. There he is, different women, as you'll notice, not the women that were with him earlier. We saw lots of women go up just to ask him questions. Who could blame him? He also rides one of the actual real motorcycles that we saw there in the square, and not just the little scooters. There he is, swinging his helmet around, making some date, some assignation with these young women. a quick pan of the whole male landscape. And notice different women, that's right, different women asking him for directions, asking him his name. Look at his stance, sort of casual but strong. They have to look back because they can't believe how handsome he is either. What is he reaching for? Ah, cigarettes. And here you have it all. Motorcycle, cell phone, the whole enchilada. He has a nice smile, this man, and is looking pretty sharp there with his boots and his slacks on his slung back motorcycle. And we, again, could ignore the whole cell phone part, but what are you going to do? He has an unusual hairstyle with that blonde over black. He's trying to get both the stereotypical look and the Verona look. Flick of the sunglasses, adjust the helmet. Nothing makes you look more suave bola than being on a motorcycle. He's finally putting his cell phone away and getting ready to ride off into the sunset. Maybe he's saying a little prayer first. Not all of the men in the piazza at this time of day are enjoying their leisure hours. Some of them are still on the clock. Some, like this adorable fruit vendor, who we feature now because of his beautiful smile, his easygoing attitude, and his cherries, which were the best I've ever tasted in my life.
Un po' meno, ok? Guardami 5
Già che se le ha salute di più, ha capito? Sì, no, vale la pena perché sennò...
Local men gathering in the piazza is a common enough sight in Italy, but in the summer, so is the sight of backpacking tourists. These are usually high school and college students that are tramping about the globe, trying to have some fun and soak up some culture. Everyone who sits next to them on the bus hopes that eventually they'll end up in the laundromat, which is where we found these 3 adorable young scamps. We started talking to them and learned that they knew our good friends Jorge and Jose Colon of the local band Las Almas back when they were in Puerto Rico playing soccer for their high school teams. This proves once and for all that it really is just a small world. And you guys are here after many weeks of traveling.
Yeah, this is the first time we're washing our clothes after 2 weeks, a month and a half. So we kind of stink around.
It's okay, it happens.
Yeah.
At least you're doing the right thing and cleaning it all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't know how to clean our washing machine. End up with small t-shirts.
These people are having fun.
It's bright.
They're not watching television, but they sure are having a good time. Hey, what are you doing? Don't play in traffic. Watch Manizer.
Today, Manizer is happy to bring you a view, although not exclusive, as you can see from the many throngs of people, but a view nonetheless of the house of Juliet, Verona's most famous love story. Right here is the famed balcony where Juliet spoke those words, "Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?" Looking for her young lover in the courtyard below. And if she were alive today, she could choose from any one of the hundreds and hundreds of young lovers who come here today to see this famed place of romance in this beautiful courtyard covered with ivy and the walls of Verona high above. But one can imagine how romantic it must have been standing there on the beautiful balcony looking for her lover below. Ah, young love. A story quite romantic, although also quite tragic, sadly. The walls are covered with people leaving sentiments of love, maybe hoping that if the young lovers would pray for them and put in a good word, perhaps they could find true love and hope it's not with as tragic an ending. Whoever says romance is dead just has never been to Verona, because this is apparently one of the most popular destinations in all of Verona, with probably more visitors than the Duomo or any of the churches, or perhaps even the arena. This is very near closing time. We were hoping to come in during those evening hours and get a nice, quiet view, but you can see that was just crazy. There's nothing quiet about this little courtyard di Giulietta. Long after the gates have closed, people stand to take pictures down the courtyard of the Casa di Giulietta. All paying homage to one of the greatest love stories ever told.
My name is Alfredo.
Alfredo.
Yeah.
And Alfredo,
Yeah.
are you here? Are you from Florence?
No, Milan.
Milan.
Yeah.
And I have to ask you a question today about romance. Romance.
Yeah.
For the women, ladies.
Yeah.
What is your idea of the most romantic evening? If you could do anything on a date, what would you do?
Oh, I think it was. We can go to a drink on the sea. I think on the seas is better. And after you can eat in the restaurant near on the sea. And after you can finish the night on the beach. I think is a better idea of romantic.
So the beach is the way to go.
Yeah.
Sand and sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's a better things for romantic.
Beautiful.
The cold is not nice.
And if you prefer Sophia Loren or Gina Lollobrigida?
The same. For
The
me, it's
same?
yeah, the same really. It's different woman, different characteristic. Lauren is more Mediterranean woman, and I like for this. And Gina Lollobrigida is interesting, but not beautiful. But is a very nice woman. The same.
So you think Sophia Loren is a more beautiful woman?
Yeah. For a woman, really, yes.
Grazie.
Nothing.
We don't want you to think that the piazza is only for men to gather and do their manly things, or that romance can only be had in storybooks and ancient tales. That's why we take you now to the Piazza del Bra, where couples go for a romantic evening stroll under the shadow of the arena, which has lent its help to lovers for over 2,000 years. Italy is full of art. These masterpieces, works like Madonna in the Rose Garden and The Birth of Venus, are things that we've all been exposed to at one time or another in one way or another. Our friend Sage came in recently to expose himself and us to ways to use the Statue David and show a girl how she can create art in her own home without having to travel to ancient lands. But before we get to that, I'd like to extend a very special thanks to a local New Orleans artist, Tim Traplin, who gave me a lot of invaluable advice when traveling to Italy. You were right, Tim. A girl can go far in Italy with a snappy little sundress and a scarf. Grazie, Tim, and grazie, Sage, for helping us with our Manizer masterpieces. There's Sage looking off into the distance, looking like a beautiful statue set in a field, wearing our little souvenir from Italy, and looking oh so surprised. Wait, there she is. I see her coming across the hill. I'm so happy. Oh, welcome, welcome. We love a man in uniform, or a man out of uniform, as the case may be. And I think he makes a nice accompaniment to these three Italian officers doing their duty, looking sharp, wishing they had a body like David, or Sage for that matter, although they don't look bad in their little uniforms. no doubt about it. Ah, the strong, manly look. A man who can take care of business. Any kind of business, even funny business. Wouldn't you just love, ladies, to come home from a long day of work and find something like this waiting for you in your backyard? He's had a long, hard day himself, getting ready, getting the house ready for your arrival. He sees you. There you are. He can hardly wait. So thankful you're home. He has a long, romantic evening planned. Just the two of you. He figured he'd go out in the yard and get a little sun in the meantime. Unwind. There you are, the courtyard to your beautiful home, your beautiful Italian villa. Nothing could be finer. A tapestry that he wove just for you. Eros, we don't doubt it a bit. There we have a perfect example of man turned into art. Eros, the god of love. And we're ready. And so is Sage. Ah, what will we do tonight? What wonderful thing shall I entice her with? There's so many to choose from in this beautiful sunset day. I think I'll draw a bath. She'd probably like to relax after a long day of work. And relax even further with a long evening of work. I'll just sprawl myself here and wait for her to come in. That beautiful negligee I bought her in Milano. Who would you rather? Al Pacino or Robert De Niro?
I'm thinking De Niro.
Any particular reasons?
Well, I mean, part of it is that I know De Niro likes black chicks, and I think if he went for me, then it'd be like a testament that I could like hang with all these cool black women that he's gone out with. You know what I'm saying? Like I would rank. So, I mean, Pacino, Beverly D'Angelo, so what? But De Niro, yeah, cool black women. Two-piece men. I love all that.
So the Manizer question is, who would you rather, Al Pacino or Robert De Niro?
Al Pacino.
Any particular reason why?
Better hair, nice skin. That's pretty much it.
Who would you rather, Al Pacino or Robert De Niro?
Gosh, that's a hard one. But I think I'd have to say Pacino. Because I would always think of Godfather 1. And he's just so cute in that movie.
Who would you rather, Al Pacino or Robert De Niro?
Al Pacino.
Any particular reason why Al Pacino?
I think he's a better actor.
So you're all about the talent and the cerebral part there?
Sometimes.
Manizer would like to announce the arrival of our new affiliate. Now, when you're on Martha's Vineyard, you can enjoy Manizer on MVTV by tuning in on Saturday night at 10:30 to Channel 13. And we want you to know that we also still enjoy all of your input when we read our email, which we get at manizer@hotmail.com.
admit that I love and adore men. And tonight I want to give a Manizer profile, if you will, of Martha's Vineyard. MV has 6 different towns, each offering unique opportunities to manize. So let's get started in Oak Bluffs. OB is a man mecca. Oak Bluffs is the most diverse town. Unity and diversity more than a restaurant slogan. Let's go right up the middle. Circuit Avenue, okay? You start at the beginning. The Ritz. Dark. Damp. Dusty. A little smelly. Maybe a little dirty. Not the Ritz, the men in the Ritz. That's right. Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock, the hard-working local men are there enjoying happy hour, and you should enjoy manizing them. Stroll up to the middle of Circuit Avenue and do like I do, fall in love with a famous comedian. That's right. Men with the sense of humor that we love. You can find those at the Comedy Night. Or, if you want to just take it easy, you can go to a local Merchant's. What? Oh, you can't buy that. 25 years, I gotta sell it. Or you can go to the top of Circuit Avenue, maybe that's the bottom, Balance. What these men lack in integrity, they more than make up for in flavor. That's right, tasty. Stack 'em high, DeForest delicious. Oak Bluffs, once you have black, you never go back. Right across the harbor, we have Tisbury or Vineyard Haven. Also a lot of hard-working local men. I want to point out in particular the steamship authority men. Every time I'm getting on or I'm getting off on that ferry, I am managing those steamship men. Thank you very much. They wear shorts even when it's like 30 degrees outside. Another predominant male in Vineyard Haven are dads. And these are easily recognized by the I'm just looking for my wife. Well, what does she look like? She's sort of medium. She's got like darkish, sort of light hair. Kids, come on, you want a caramel apple? 4 caramel apples. Bring it on home, Daddy. Right next to Tisbury, of course, we have West Tisbury, where we are tonight. And I thought since we're here tonight, utility belt, ready for artistry, plumbing, electrical work, carpentry. They got it all. Always work shoes. Often no shirt, always facial hair. Let's go all the way to the tip, the head of the island, Aquina. Imagine me telling my friends back in New Orleans, oh, my new boyfriend. He's from Gay Head. Gay Head is good. And just think, the potential, the semi-precious wampum engagement ring, the incredibly romantic marry me proposal in clay. Ooh, I do. And Aquina, home of the Wampanoag man. Beautiful skin to match the cliffs. Bold, gorgeous features. You know what they say? Big features, big Wampanoag. More up-island men can, of course, be found in Chilmark. To maximize your manizing, go to the Chilmark store. Just sit on the porch. There you will see the most sublime, relaxed 1978 Chilmark Road Race t-shirt, Docker shorts, Teva sandals, the self-described big picture types. But don't forget Menemsha. The Menemsha men are waiting for you in rubber pants. And if you're lucky enough, you just might land a cricker. And that means front row seats every night to the sunset right on Squid Row. Menemsha men, ooh, smell their fingers. Best for last. Of course, I'm open with my love and adoration manizing ideals. I also want to come out with this fact. I have a preppy fetish. The preppy handbook is like the Kama Sutra. And a preppy man drives me crazy. Manizer makes me mad. Always good gin. Ray-Ban sunglasses. I really think I need to go. I'm going to go do some manizing backstage right now with my Edgartown man. But a little quiz. What type of man is this? He's driving an old car, probably a dog in the back seat or front. He's circling the island for 20 years. All of the above!
So I'm done. Give me my prize back, please. No, I'm just kidding, really. So I've been an outdoorsman and a naturalist most of my life, and I love the outdoors, being out in nature. And you might think, well, does that mean that he doesn't wear any underwear, or hugs trees or something? Does that mean he's like that guy on Animal Planet and wrestling alligators? I mean, what's that mean? Well, yes, it does mean that. But let me explain here. Let me explain. I love being outdoors, and as a naturalist, I really care about animals a lot. And sometimes I get worried when they're in trouble. So I really worry about those animals, and especially the alligators down in Florida. Now, all those old folks down in Florida with their prescription drugs, they're causing so many troubles for the alligator. Really? I swear. Let me explain. So, all these old folks in their old homes, they're hanging out with their prescription drugs, and when they see the expiration date on there, what do? They take all their Zytrex and Zybans and Viagras and Prozacs, and they just flush them down the toilet. Next thing you know, where's that end up? In the swamps with the gators. So now there are thousands of prescription drug addicted, happy super gators with hard-ons hanging out near retirement homes. I mean, talk about a dangerous combination of things. I mean, next thing you know, Gramps will be out there. There's going to be a whole gang of prescription drug addicted adolescent gators sodomizing him. Like, alright, Gramps, you better keep flushing your prescription drugs down the toilet, or next time we'll make you squeal like a pig. Yeah, I'd really love to be the game warden hired to solve that problem. Alright, Gramps, break it up. Hey, you, hard-on gator. Yeah, you, I'm talking to you. Yeah, back it off. Get your mind out of the gutter. What, you giving me lip? Alright, come on. Step into the ring. Come on, bring it on. Yeah, that's what I thought so. I'll make boots out of you. So, I really feel bad for the gators, though. I mean, so many drugs, so many prescription drugs, so many side effects. Hard-on gator will be swimming around. Next thing you know, it'll be puking up your neighbor's cat, getting a migraine, and having bouts of flatulence all at the same time. Poor gators. So, I finally decided to wear underwear about a week ago. It's a new thing for me. I was having some troubles with it though. After a week, I finally got it though. Yellow in the front, brown in the back. Works great. don't do that? Alright, I want to talk to you after. I gotta figure this out. So I've been electrocuted. Twice. And, that might explain some things, you know? But, yeah, I've been electrocuted. But I digress. So anyway, despite my woes with electrocution and my woes with the underwear, I still have relationship problems. You know, I try communicating with her. I try. She won't return my calls. Then finally, when I reach her, she just puts me on hold right away. You know, I just want to fix things here. That's all I want to do. But no, she puts me on hold. Then I get the runaround. I get lied to. She says, "Oh, I'll be there tomorrow." No, you said you'd be here today. God, she get me so worked up. Anyway, her name's Verizon. What, you know her? Who here's been with Verizon You've all been with Verizon. No. Okay, who would be with Verizon if she lowered her rates to 4 cents a minute? Everybody? I thought so. So, you know, she's looser than a grease gun in July. Man. Alright, I can't take this anymore. You guys have been great. Thank you very much.
I'm Dan Aykroyd here at the House of Blues with Jill Blues, and you are watching Manizer.
Manizer.
Oh, Manizer. I'll do it again. I put an H in there. All right. I'm saying Manizer like this.
All right. Hi, I'm Jill Blues. We're at the Blue Plate Mayonnaise, and you're watching Manizer. All right. Hi, I'm Jill Blues at the Blue Plate Fine Foods, and you're watching Manizer.
Manizer.
Oh, I'm saying Manizer. I'm putting a Y in it. Oh, I'll do it again.
This is a song about non-waivering. It's about conversations you have with your ex-spouse or ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, and how awkward those conversations could be. It's hilarious.
We said that we would keep in touch. We were way out of reach. We stopped writing months ago, and we haven't talked in weeks. But today I'm gonna call you, just to prove that I still care. But I'm so afraid you'll answer that I'll hope you won't be there. That I'll hope you won't be there. When I call, we'll catch up. First we'll tell the news. Probably omit details and perhaps we'll drop some clues. Like somebody had a baby. Someone went to jail. Something funny happened and you forwarded my mail. And you forwarded my mail. been in, you reply, okay. And I'll say I'm not too bad too, and there's nothing left to say. And then there'll be a silence. So we were unwrapping gauze. Think about it. Till someone says, are you still there? To end the middle pause. Finally you will hang up. Done with that go round. It's always nice to hear your voice, but I will want to lie down. But I will want to lie down. We said that we would keep in touch. We're way out of reach. We stopped writing months ago, and we haven't talked in weeks. But today I'm gonna call you, just to prove that I still care. But I'm so afraid you'll answer, that I'll hope you won't be there. That I'll hope you won't be there.
My dear friend, I know of no medicine fit to diminish the violent natural inclinations you mentioned. And if I did, I think I should not communicate it to you. Marriage is the proper remedy. It is the most natural state of man, and therefore the state in which you are most likely to find solid happiness. Your reasons against entering into it at present appear to me not well founded. The circumstantial advantages you have in view by postponing it are not only uncertain, but they are small in comparison with that of the thing itself, the being married and settled. It is the man and woman united to make the complete human being, set which she wants his force of body and strength of reason. He, the softness, sensibility, and acute discernment. Together they are more likely to succeed in the world. A single man has not merely the value he would have in a state of union. He is an incomplete animal. He resembles the odd half of a pair of scissors. If you get a prudent, healthy wife, your industry and your profession, with her good economy, will be a fortune sufficient. But if you do not take this counsel and persist in thinking a commerce with the sex inevitable, then I repeat my former advice that in all your amours you should prefer an old woman to a young one. Yes, you call this a paradox, but demand my reasons. They are these. Number one, because as they have more knowledge of the world and their minds are better stored with observation, their conversation is more improving and more lastingly agreeable. Number two, because when women cease to be handsome, they study to be good. To maintain their influence over men, they supply the diminution of beauty by an augmentation of utility. They learn to do 1,000 services, small and great, and are the most tender and useful of all friends when you are sick. Thus they continue amiable, and hence there is hardly such a thing to be found as an old woman who is not a good woman. Number three, because there is no hazard of children which irregularly produced may be attended with much inconvenience. Number four, because through more experience they are more prudent and discreet in conducting an intrigue to prevent suspicion. The commerce with them is therefore safer with regard to their reputation, and with regard to theirs, if the affair should happen to be known, considered people might be rather inclined to excuse an old woman who would kindly take care of a young man, form his manners by her good counsels, and prevent his ruining his health, and fortune among her say prostitutes. Number 5. Because in every animal that walks upright, the deficiency of the fluids that fill the muscles appear first in the highest part. The face first grows lank and wrinkled, then the neck, then the breast and arms, the lower parts communicating to the last plump as ever, so that covering all above with a basket. And regarding only what is below the girdle, it is impossible of 2 women to know an old from a young one. And as in the dark all cats are gray, the pleasure of corporal enjoyment with an old woman is at least equal and frequently superior, every nap being by practice capable of improvement. Number 6, because the sin is less, the debauching a virgin may be her ruin and make her life unhappy. Number 7. Number 7, because the compunction is less, the having made a young girl miserable may give you frequent bitter reflections, none of which can attend to making an old woman happy. 8thly, and lastly, they are so grateful. Thus, much my paradox, but I advise you to marry directly, being sincerely your affectionate friend, Benjamin Franklin.
Our next group, whistlers, consists of 6 species of clear whistle-like song. These are northern cardinal, tufted titmouse, black-capped and Carolina chickadees, northern oriole, and Carolina wren. Let's begin with the northern cardinal. Not only is the cardinal visually conspicuous, but he is also easy to detect by ear, as his loud, rich whistles can be heard throughout the year. The cardinal also takes part in the scene. A typical cardinal vocalization begins with either a down-slurred or an up-slurred phrase, followed by a series of repeated notes. Here are 2 examples of its down-slurred. Cheer, cheer. titmouse songs. You can tell them apart, however, by listening for the radical up or down slurring in the cardinal's liquid whistles and the steadier pitch of the titmouse's slurred whistle. First the cardinal, next the couplet titmouse. When comparing the two-noted phrases, listen for the cardinals. Hurdy, hurdy, hurdy. And the titmouses. Chiva, chiva, chiva.